Make sure they can see you. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. Greetings from me and my beloved cat. Hopefully, everyone is well. Hello, everyone. Hi, Sandra Geese. No, Trump will not be the Speaker of the House because that would require a majority of votes, and there's no way that will ever happen. Hi, Jill Linda. Good to see you. Hello. Law that says you cannot be Speaker of the House if you have a felony indictment. Huh, interesting. Jiggy, well, I think it's something that we don't have to worry about because, yeah, it's never going to happen. You couldn't get it through without, what do they need, 218 votes or something? Yeah, never going to happen. Hi, Paula Schnell. Hi, John Weber. John Weber is an amazing remote viewer who only comes out of hiding about once or twice a month. Every time he joins the group, he gets it right. Good to see you, John. Hi, Debbie M. Good evening to you. Hi, Adi Chenery. Donald Lampert. Oh, I've got so many members here. And of course, the amazing Joel Tilson is here, our floor director, welcoming all of you. Be sure and leave those nice big question marks so that everybody's questions can be answered. Well, hello, Rose Blue in Texas. Are you a Texas? You're the Texas Rose Blue. Yeah, I think that's just pie in the sky dreaming. I think people are really beginning to wonder if, Trump even has all of his wits. Well, before we get started, if everybody could like and subscribe. Excuse me, I should not have a cough at all. My cold is gone. So there should be no cough. Oh, yes, I wanted to remind people, the Call of the Cards is our book of the month. The Call of the Cards. Anybody here joining our book club? Yeah? You taking off, Mila? Thank God, you're giving me a bit of a cough. Okay. The Call of the Cards, it's part of a 3-part series. And the Divining Sisters series, this is book 1. It's written by Heather Hardison. So she is going to be our guest at the end of the month. Actually, she's going to be here for Halloween. She'll be here at 6 o'clock Halloween evening for Taco Tuesday's book club. So that'll be a lot of fun. Looks like our friend Chuck Dransfield has put up a new art project video. If you'd like to see the layers of how he does his artwork, I think it's coming up, premiering Saturday, October 7th at 4 p.m., 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I think he's going to be doing some transmedium work. And the target is Judy Garland. So many people do automatic handwriting. Chuck is a trance medium that he goes into trance. He focuses on the eyes of the subject as he goes into the process, and he'll show you how he layers the paint, etc. He begins to communicate with the subject, and then from that emerged several journals of writings from those who had passed, who had painted. So he's going to start sharing that stuff with you guys. Yeah. Isn't that exciting? Okay, let's do the Empath's prayer without further ado. '45's not even going to be on the ballot in several states. So, I mean, the truth of the matter is, the longer that the Republicans hold on to Trump, the better for the Democrats, because it means that they don't have a candidate in 2024. And people complain about Biden, but we have a candidate. And we also have Kamala Harris. So we're in pretty good shape. They keep talking about his age, but there's nothing in the medical reports. There's no reason he can't continue to serve. And so we're actually doing a lot better than the GOP, I think, because they don't have a candidate. And so the longer that they can fight, I mean, they're exhausting themselves fighting themselves, which is basically what they tried to do in the DNC in 2000, right? They, getting us to the Civil War that happened. What was it in 2000? When was that? Was it 2017 when the DNC had a meltdown? But being a unified voice right now, I think, is really important. Okay, the Empath's prayer. Let's bring it together. All right, I want to call on white light protection from myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. All right. Well, whenever we get the order to blitz, blitz, blitz away, we will blitz, blitz, blitz away. Be sure and check out all of our merch that Debbie Brady has graciously designed. That's a great way to support the channel. And also think about memberships. We have a weekly get-together, Saturday, free quick readings, blitzes for personal blitzes for people on Saturdays. And on Wednesday nights, we have HCRV training. So, yeah. Anybody telling us to blitz, blitz? Ooh, look at all those beautiful blitzes. Ah, Geocosmic Valentine. I'd be lost without you. Ah, look at that. Beautiful amens, beautiful hearts for all of us. Okay, before we get started, I have a message from Spirit. I believe I wrote it down. So do people feel like this is today's meditation? Let me see. I want to make sure I get this right. Hold on a second. It's important. Okay, so we just got out of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's a kind of a heavy time energetically in the planet. Ancient scribes believed that the birth of the world took place on Rosh Hashanah. So it's kind of like the birth of the Big Bang, right? So we theoretically, in Kabbalistic terms, we're always returning back, spiraling back to these vibrations, these energies, and then forever trying to perfect them, like how the United States, the more perfect union. The same idea exists with tikkun olam, or the fixing of the world. We are all here to fix the world. We're all here to contribute in some wonderful way. And nobody can tell you what that's going to be or what that's going to look like. But the first question I want to ask people before I give this remote viewing is, are you doing everything that you can to take care of yourself? That's the first question we all have to ask ourselves spiritually right now. Before we even get into politics, just the meditations I've been feeling the last couple of days. I'm a professional. I feel like are a lot of you feeling like, how's your power? Are you feeling, anybody feeling fragile right now? Anybody feeling like you have no power, like you're fighting against evil by yourself? And it's me against the world. And I don't know if I can continue to, I mean, like just overwhelmed by everything, right? So that's kind of the energy I felt. And not just with me, but with clients, people coming into session is evil always wins. It's a interesting energy we're kind of coming into. So basically the message from spirit is before you try to take on the world, take care of yourself. It's really important right now for you to pull back from the voices of the world and instead take care of your spiritual well-being. So things to be mindful of at this time as we go into the winter months, as we're progressing in this energy. Be mindful of what you watch on television. Be mindful of your news sources in the coming months. Limit the amount of news, particularly negative news you hear. Don't spend hours watching a tornado all day long listening to the hurricane news. This stuff gets in us. Be very judicious with what you take in and the dose you take in. So just be aware that the images that you are taking in are having a dramatic impact on your mental health. The other thing that's starting to happen is that many of us may start to feel like we're so wiped out emotionally, we're barely holding on emotionally, financially, that we have nothing left to give to anybody else. And everybody is so desperate. This is what Los Angeles is like. For at least it was for me. Everybody was so hungry, so desperate, so insecure that any slightly compassionate person would be gobbled up, right? So that's in Buddhist terms the world of hunger, right? Where everybody's hungry, like the addict who can never be satisfied. They're always looking for the next fix. That's to exist in the world of hunger. And so we have to be mindful also that the media wants you to covet, right? You want to get that new car, you want to get that new makeup. That's all well and good, but just be very, very cautious. One of the things that really came in the last couple of days in meditation is how media has been weaponized, and so we feel attacked. And there's a lot of different ways in which we get attacked in the media, whether it's being told we're not pretty enough, we're not smart enough, we're not rich enough. And then there's also the political campaign. So it's just very dangerous for our overall mental health. And it gets into you, it gets into me, and it impacts the way we treat each other. And so it's, one of the things we learn from fall and winter is to pull back our energy and to do more meditation work, more internal work, and to keep our own home in a good place, nurture yourself, listen to music that is spiritually uplifting to you in a spiritual cultural context that you can relate to. Like, for example, when I do energy healing, sometimes I like to listen to Snotnum Carr, Lorena McKennitt. But I have some patients that want to listen to smooth jazz while I'm giving them energy healing, because smooth jazz is what they listen to when they're stressed out. So it helps them meditate and feel good. So find something that you can do every day that allows you to decompress. Deval Premel is excellent. Diva Premel, I can never pronounce her name. She's great. I just feel it's too much. Getting attacked with China, with fentanyl, dealing with Putin's now, like, I got a new long-range nuclear weapon, a new toy, right, in the hands of a psychopath. It's too much negativity in the hands of people that we have no power over the situation other than, we vote, we try to be good, decent people. So the takeaway of the message from Spirit is, you can't give people what you don't have. And if you feel like you're drained emotionally and physically, you probably are. Pull back, police what you watch, and be a little bit in, particularly if you're a trained remote viewer, psychic, healer, most of the people watching this channel, right? Artists, musicians, teachers. Our alone time is vital to our spiritual and mental health. Alone can also be in the comfort of your home with family and people you trust. You know, there's something very comforting about not being exceptional, right? Being around just regular people and being a regular person. And there's a lot of pressure in the media. This is the other thing I don't like about the media. We got to be exceptional. We got to be, well, you know, it's just more added pressure. Just be a good person and find your path in life and do your best and live, you know, so I just wanted to get that out there because I've been meditating on it and I've been seeing more insular cultures lately, studies on more insular cultures. They have less stress. I'm not saying in the meditation that people should run from reality and go live like a Satmar Jew or a or a Amish in the middle of nowhere, but there is some truth to this idea that we do have to filter and protect the amount of stuff coming in. So say you give yourself a diet of 20 minutes of news a day, which is plenty to know what's going on in the world. You don't need to do more than that. Yeah. So that was the meditation. You will feel better. For example, some people have Shabbat, right? Orthodox Jews, and the electronics are turned off. They can't touch the computer for 24, 25 hours. And a lot of people who are not Jewish have started to do that, where they've just turned everything off, gone to the country for 24 hours, no cell phone, nothing, just to experience. And the first day or two, you might have a problem with it, but eventually you get used to it. And then you start to, particularly if you're out in the country and you're not being disturbed and there's no cell phones or anything, and you turn everything off for 24 hours or whatnot, or 3 days. 3 days is when you really start to feel it. And then you come out of the woods, come out of that beautiful, wonderful energy, and you come back into the real world. And it's so jarring and traumatic that your first thought will be, get me back to the woods, right? So forest bathing is something to think about. Be in nature right now, meditate, enjoy your quiet time, and limit how much of that stuff. Because I feel like it's having such a destructive impact on us that it's starting to impact our internal belief systems and also the amount of compassion we can show ourselves and other people. I mean, one of the downsides of cable news is that it has hardened people. You know, we don't care about it's not a big deal to hear that 500,000 Iraqi citizens died for no reason. Because the points of light, right, on CNN, right? So it's also desensitized us to some extent, I think. Okay. Well, I've gone back to, sometimes I can be too much in the world, right? Where you can be too much in this world and not enough in doing your internal work. So I'm chanting more than I used to. You know, I'm trying to chant a bit more, do some more meditation. But I think also as a remote viewer, you can get addicted. You can start obsess. You know, this is what I do. You can obsess about the news and you're running around looking for something to spy on. And you're like, I'm bored. I don't want to do that subject. I'm going to go find something. So you spend hours reading horrible news, trying to find something to remote view. And you can fall into that trap if you're somebody who's like doing political tarot or, yeah. All right, so let's look at this first question. We'll start some blitzes. George Santos, is he gone this week? Well, he's in a lot of trouble and he could be pleading guilty. There's a possible DOJ deal in the works, supposedly. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. What will happen to George Santos? All right, so there's something about his finances and financial restitution. I know that he had to pay financial restitution to his victims in Brazil. It's interesting how tolerant Brazil was with him because he's now a US congressman, even if he stole the seat, right? So, but we have this, he's in the Six of Pentacles mode, which could be that he's trying to pay back restitution. FBI card is next to him. His hope and fears is the strength of his, is there anybody there that likes him? New beginning starting for him. He's not going to be able to get away with it. Attempts to pay restitution. Thief attempts to flee. Inverted thief's card. He's going to be charged. Here's a charge, police charge. And you can see here an inverted thief's card. He attempts to escape. He attempts to pay it off or evade. Here he is not able to escape. Who? The police. So there was an investigation, the Hidden Queen, which corresponds with the FBI. I use the Hidden Queen for the FBI. And then this is a police action with this inverted, an attempt to flee. Hopes and fears that they will drop charges. He's in trouble. Four of Pentacles, financially. Part of what's going on with him is financial. He could wind up. There's a part of him, I feel like he may go back to Brazil. I don't know why I feel that way. There appears to be some charges coming for George Santos, and it appears that he attempts to leave the United States and go back to Brazil. It could be because something's going on with him legally. I don't know, but I see him attempting to leave the States. Wash my chair and blanket? Yeah, it's not that. How senile is Trump? That's a good question. How senile is Trump? That's a good question. So you wonder about these gag orders, don't you? He's trying to create chaos in order to avoid the inevitable. It's like somebody who's being marched to the gallows or to their execution. And so they're trying to create fake little skirmishes and dramas in order to slow down the march to the electric chair or wherever he's being taken. That is precisely how this feels to me as a remote viewer. Trying to take power away. He's under the microscope. His time is running out. And look who greets him at the end of the hall, the courts. He can't escape the courts, particularly with the fact that they're with the Wheel of Fortune. It's his destiny. He is trying to do anything and everything to escape his own destiny. Yeah. I simply think it's like he gets swallowed alive by FBI agents. And there are just too many prosecutions. There are too many criminal investigations. And you can see here the FBI, the courts all over him. This is G-men. This is the courts. This is the FBI. It's his destiny. So I'm certainly not seeing a presidency or him sitting in Congress. if that's what people think. Not with those cards. No, Rose, it's my cat. She shed it. If my cat sits next to me, I took Allegra though, so it's not bad today. If I do neti pot, which I did, and Allegra, which I did, it's not that bad, is it? It's either me or the cat. I think most of my readers would. I think most of the people that watch this channel would prefer the cat, but it's less now because we've had rain, so my allergies are 80% better. I am grateful for the rain. Okay, Earth. Where on the Earth is Ted Cruz? Wow, that's a good question, Claudia. Depressed, avoiding speaking to the FBI. He's avoiding speaking to the DOJ. I think this guy, I think he got pulled into something with January 6th. I think that he was manipulated. I think he never wanted to be in the middle of it in the first place. And he's the weakest link. And I think the Department of Justice went after Ted Cruz because he's the weakest link. He has no spine. And so he is the easiest to manipulate and flip. He's weighing his options. Look who he's weighing his options, DOJ. Sun, truth coming out, happening quickly. So he's going to flip. He has to flip. He is, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. I mean, that's basically what they're saying. Isn't that cool? How you can find out stuff like that. So the other thing is that his fellow January 6ers put him in a situation where he didn't have any choice anyway, in the sense that he was named as somebody that was in certain situations that ultimately got him in trouble. For example, he's linked possibly with some questionable money. You can see here again, money or bribes or something, and it was over an investigation. I think, again, it's January 6th, taking power away from him, exposing him. But what's interesting about Ted Cruz going forward is that his own, nobody likes Ted Cruz, they say. So if nobody likes Ted Cruz, why not just throw him to the wolves? And that's precisely what happens. 10 of Swords is the final outcome for Ted Cruz. I think that he is being pressured. I think that he's already been given up by other people that have flipped. I think he's the weakest link. And I think that he's left out in the cold. And I think that the DOJ is all over him. Well, that was cheery. Wasn't that fun? Crazy, huh? Yeah, Joel. I mean, exactly. It's really, because all of the feedback I'd been receiving, what I had been feeling for myself and what I had been feeling for everybody who had been calling me the last couple of days is too much negative stimuli from the outside world. We're all getting too much negative stimulation from the outside world. And it's kind of a message from spirit to pull back, and we gotta have less politics and more about supporting the community and building positive communities and creating, yes, some insulation in our communities so that there have to be safe places that we can go to. And it's really important to our health. Yeah, thanks, Joel. Okay. Good for you, Lisa. She's overwhelmed, but you know what she's doing? She's walking 2 to 3 miles every day. Yeah, that and Go and look at the birds and connect with all the positive, wonderful stuff in the world. There's more to life than politics, the green menace. Get to know your neighbors, create positive community, go visit a friend that's not feeling well. That's basically what the energy is saying. Be in communion with people you love and support. Yeah. Oh, you were a counselor in Washington State? Cool. I used to live in Washington State. All right, let's see what else we've got. Let's flip and Mitch McConnell health. You know what? Got that wrong because I felt when I put myself in the shoes of Mitch McConnell, I really thought that I was gonna choose to resign because I didn't feel like it was fair to my constituents. Kentucky, right? Let's see what we can learn about Mitch McConnell. He is praying for the death of look, it's his fault. I'm sorry, but what did Spirit tell him to do? They should have impeached and removed this guy when he had a choice. He was put into a position of free choice. Mitch McConnell. He could have done the right thing, and he did the wrong thing. He did the wrong thing twice. It was the lot fell on Mitch McConnell. We talked about this a couple of years ago. He must slay the dragon. He must cut the head off the beast. He was put in he was like Sir Lancelot, right? You can do the right thing and cut the head off the beast and do the right thing for America, or you can continue to be the creep of the Senate. And unfortunately, he did not chop the head off the beast. And he chose party over country, and that put everyone at risk. Now he's at a point, Mitch McConnell, where he wants to cut the head off the beast, and the House is collapsing. The House is collapsing now because Mitch McConnell didn't get rid of this beast a long time ago. And that's basically what they're saying. So what he wants, the 10 of Cups, is he wants his party back. He wants the orange menace gone. He wants MAGA gone. The situation that he watches, the situation that Mitch McConnell watches is the destruction of the House. He watches from a distance. There's nothing he can do about it because he didn't take care of it. He had multiple opportunities. This could have been avoided. The House did not have to fall. The House did not have to fall. The House fell because Mitch McConnell failed to do his job. I can't imagine that feels good, right? I can't imagine it feels good to know that that this is the state of the House. We've never been here before because you could not effectively do your job, take control of the Senate, and get rid of this wingnut and his crazy friends. So how does he feel? He feels pretty devastated that he ultimately now understands the consequences of his actions, don't you think? So he is in the state of 5 of Cups. He grieves what he has lost. Along with that is also his time in the Senate is coming to an end, which means that bills that they were this close to signing bills that were good for the country, both parties would have voted for, but because of these right-wing nut jobs, as far as Mitch McConnell's concerned, they lost great bills, great opportunities, infrastructure, etc. And so there is this feeling when you go into 5 of Cups of what he has lost, but something remains. There is only one direction for Mitch McConnell and the Republican Party. What is it? Cut the head off the beast, right? After you cut the head off the beast, what does he have to do? Has to reach across the aisle and begin to work with Democrats because the Republicans have lost and because MAGA has lost and the old Republican Party wants to come back, the grand old party, right? So where does this inevitably always lead to? It can happen in 5 years, it can happen in 5 days. It's up to you. You want to continue to be an ego, or do you want to accept that this is inevitably where we're headed? And where we're inevitably headed is dun, 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 the lovers. Reaching across the aisle in order to, now some people, the Republicans might see that as cheating, right? Infidelity. Why does he have cheating and infidelity? Because he's reaching across the aisle. So MAGA considers him a cheat, which is why he's called a rhino. He fears that he's been controlled by, again, the MAGA extremist Nine of Wands over the next couple of weeks. Republicans are trying to go over to the Democrats because they feel like there are moderate Republicans and moderate Democrats that are not insane, and they make up 75 to 80% of Congress. You've got them reaching across the aisle, Six of Pentacles, even to the point of willing to work with Democrats in order to make this nightmare go away. You see how stupid this was? When we did readings about this 3-4 years ago. This is why HCRV is so important, because ego, right? We all get into ego. Well, I'm going to do what I like. No, just don't do anything. Take a minute, get control of your emotions. Go do proper form HCRV. Take a minute and look at the consequences of your actions before. Try and see the bigger picture, right? The problem with Mitch McConnell is he could not see the bigger picture. It was all about him. It was all about his party. And well, we got control and we got the Senate and we got this and we got the president. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to force people into our agenda. But now look at what he's done karmically, Nine of Wands. Now he's the one screwed up. And who is he at the mercy of? A collapsing house. How do you fix it? By reaching across the aisle, Six of Pentacles. So they're right back where they should have been 3-4 years ago. Lovers. We all have ego, and it's not what's best for the country, and it's very frustrating. It's so frustrating. Little sense. Good question. Will Trump go to jail for breaking the gag order? Yeah, probably. I would think. Haven't all the readers seen him incarcerated? I think we all have. I think we first mostly saw house arrest, but then when I went into a remote view, I was noticing that the police and FBI felt it was a security risk. They'd have to corner off the entire block. It would be really complicated. You'd also have to have air control, people trying to break him out, which is why they decided instead on a military base would be the best. You'd have to literally break into the military base, and you don't even know which location of the base he would be housed as a prisoner. So that's most likely what's going to happen. But let's take a look. He's going before the judge again. If he's gagged and arrested, it will be house arrest. He gets his wish. His request is house arrest. So temporarily, the judge is going to place him under house arrest, which is nothing. He got his wish regarding house arrest. Here's the judge. I want to be able to tell you people what you want. He could wind up under arrest in the state of New York, in which case he's in Bedminster. And he's stuck in Bedminster and he can't leave Bedminster. That's not exactly house arrest. He's stuck at Bedminster playing golf. held on the East Coast. 301s is the East Coast card the artist uses, facing the Atlantic. The individual faces to the east versus the 201s where they face to the west, and it's based on the Pacific. If you want to know the artistic. So he heads east. Well, it could be Florida too, but I'm thinking more Bedminster. It's East Coast. He's got look at this, his final outcome charged. Yeah, incarcerated on the East Coast, most likely. I think I'm going to go ahead and say Bedminster. Temporarily house arrest, but I don't think it's a long-term solution. There's too many security risks. So basically, what in answer to your question, little sense, they're saying he could temporarily be placed under house arrest at one of his locations on the East Coast, most likely Bedminster. Am I pronouncing that right? And then after that, if he's convicted, they may have to find a more permanent location. That's what they're saying. Don't break the law, people. Will Thune be the next GOP Senate leader? Be sure and like and subscribe and think about being a member. It goes a long way. Thank you. All right. No, he's walking away because of the general environment of politics today. Many Republicans, it's an interesting remote, Joel, and it's interesting to see what these energetic documents are saying, because basically they're saying a lot of old-time Republicans are leaving politics, and they're basically saying we are leaving politics because of the general feeling in DC right now. It's so hostile. We don't want to serve anymore. We want to go back. We don't want to do this anymore. That's basically what he's saying. The sun is coming out. Things are moving very quickly for him. But I also feel like there are major changes happening, like police actions, raids, war against the GOP, his future, reaching against the aisle, his final outcome, walk away from what he built and goes out into the world. So for him, Thune, Two of Cups, it could be that there's a nastiness from what he's saying, people don't want to run. It's like bloodthirsty. I mean, look what they did to Hillary. But this is coming from a Republican. Evidently, they must have some dirt on him or something for him to want to just not bother. Could be because the Knight of Swords is there, that he has some kind of investigation or something brewing that is also responsible for him getting that kind of juxtaposition, because his final outcome, being an Eight of Cups, is to walk away. And I'm just feeling, when I go into the energy doing HCRV quick technique, that I don't feel like things are as they were. That's the best way to describe it. All right, Claudia Varias. Hi. What about acting speaker kicking Nancy Pelosi and another member of Congress out of their offices? God, talk about a petty see what I mean about ego? He's mad at the Democrats for not supporting him. You're not a Democrat. Why would we support someone who's sabotaging everything we're working? Of course we don't support you. That's absurd. So now he's mad and he's going to take it out on Nancy. It's ridiculous. But let's take a look. That is why people are leaving politics, is that kind of pettiness. People don't want to run anymore. Who wants to work? Who wants to go to work and deal with that? Would you want to work like in an environment like that? And then you have to fly back and forth every weekend back to your state, and you got people yelling at you. It's not, there isn't a lot of incentive to become a US congressperson, to be honest with you. Not if you're doing it without bribes. I don't think so. Well, it goes back to McCarthy, where people that are not in Congress anymore, one of them was saying he was called in by McCarthy and was handed $5,000 private check. Oh, just because I like you. So it goes back to this whole idea of McCarthy bribing people. She is back in California. I think he's leaving Congress. You know, he might leave Congress, and I don't know if he's going to get reelected. You know, he's got Four of Swords. He might not get reelected. The money is choosing another person. So he lost the money. He lost his backers. And people are economically pulling out of MAGA. That's kind of interesting. He's fired. He's fired. I just realized it because he's from California. He's from Bakersfield. He's not going to be reelected. So it's not just that he loses the speakership. It's that the attacks against him are so severe, they could have an impact on see, they're shooting themselves in the foot. They go after their own, then this guy goes back and runs, but he's already been run through the ground by Republicans. So the Republicans don't want to vote for him in Bakersfield. And so the Democrat can get in. So they're actually destroying their own party. Isn't that crazy? They're speaking so bad about him, it could cost him his seat. That's what they're saying. God, who are you working for? It's like what happened with the collapse in the House. Is this helping Republicans have control of the House? How is this helping Republicans have control of the House by having the House collapse? I mean, this is why political strategists are just what are you trying to accomplish? What is the Republican Party trying to accomplish? It's just those of us who are not Republicans, and the fear is that we've lost a second party. And then at that point, do we even have a democracy? We're only down to two parties, and we're not even down to two parties because the Republican Party has become so dysfunctional. All right, John Weber, I see the people who want to get into politics like a person who is watching a train about to crash and they try not to get on it. Yeah. And that's really the feeling you have in these cards, where you go back and you talk to, what's his name? Kirkpatrick, who left. I think they ran him into the ground. And so, or did he get phased out because of redistricting? I can't remember, but the point, he said the same thing. It's just so much ill will that nobody wants to serve anymore. And finding good people to run as Republicans, he said, is next to impossible, because the good people don't want to run look at what they're doing to their own. Imagine what they would do to somebody who was a moderate that actually wanted to work with Democrats, which is the only way you can pass a bill right now. So what exactly are they trying to accomplish? It's so irrational. It's so insane. Well, we want to push a MAGA agenda. Well, you're not going to get it, honey. Learn to accept the fact that you don't have the kind of political power you think you have. And the only thing that happened as a result was that they wound up, now we don't have a speaker. So nothing they're doing is rational, right? Okay, Jim Jordan's future. It's either going to be Scalise or Jim Jordan, they're saying. who I accidentally called Scalia the other day because I think I was like tired or something. I was like, Scalise. I make that mistake a lot, calling Scalia Scalise. But yeah, a lot of people, they say if it was a hidden vote, that Scalise would get it. All right, Jim Jordan. A new beginning awaits Jim Jordan. That will result in him being financially secure. He wants control of the money. So that's really, the purpose is to control the money. The whole reason that they're doing this is money, to control the means of money. It's possible Jim Jordan could take it, surprisingly enough. He could get enough Republicans to vote for him just because they want to go forward without having, they don't want to continue on without not having a speaker. I don't think it's going to happen, though. What they are saying is that Jim Jordan and some of the other people are asking for Kevin McCarthy's endorsement. And this is looking like he could potentially have it. I want to look at Scalise next. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. All right, Scalise, a new beginning for Scalise. They're saying another man takes it. Saw a woman around here too, so there could be a temporary person coming in possibly. I don't know at this time, to be honest with you. I can't imagine them voting for Jim Jordan, but I can see them voting for Scalise. We'll just have to wait. The cards are saying it can still be Jim Jordan, which has me pretty nervous, to be honest with you. I can't imagine they would be crazy enough to do that, given Smith indicting is he indicting the Freedom Caucus? Probably. Aren't they all basically getting? We were talking about McCarthy, yes, Sherry. We were talking about McCarthy and the fact that he will basically McCarthy suggests that he's probably not going to be reelected. He'll go back to Bakersfield, and because he will probably not recover from the hostile feedback he's getting from other Republicans. It actually, he was called a rhino, etc. So he's going to go back to Bakersfield, try and get reelected, and it could cost him reelection. Oh, Rep Cueller was carjacked. Wow. That is scary. Terrifying. No, it appears to have been random. The police are on it, though, because there was, it happened, I guess, at a stop where there was a camera, from what it looks like. I think it's just that fentanyl and the violence and the drugs have started to escalate a lot. You can see here the tower came. Police are already active on it. They already possibly have information under the microscope. This is also a camera card for those of you. Cameras used to be like that. You could attach them to a stand or hold them with your hand. And this was based on the early camera. This is a frugality card to hold your coin, but it's also the position of the Buddha. You know, if you look at the Qigong and also in abiding third position, he's in third position, isn't he? Who here knows third position? Give me a heart if you know empath. If you know third position in HCRV to abide. If you're familiar with, we spent all all of Wednesday, yesterday, lecturing on this. Let's see who paid attention. Okay, child pose in HCRV, right? There we go. People are responding. I love it. So if you take a look at the Four of Pentacles, he's in child pose, isn't he? This is a HCRV child pose to abide. It's similar to Qigong child pose, where the center ball is between high heart and low heart, between high heart, and also the lower hand is crossing over the abdomen. So it brings a connection between the third and fourth chakra. And actually that connection, that coin is the eye. Isn't that freaky? So this is the altar when you go in. Examine the nature of your own existence. It's a very powerful card. Because I always just thought of it as, oh, he's holding his coin. And then I read about the artist, and in the background is the kingdom of heaven. And before the fool can get to the kingdom of heaven, he must first examine the nature of his own existence. Isn't that powerful? Pull back, right? So, yeah, I think it's really cool. So basically, what they're saying is that it was probably photographed. So maybe they got to a light, there was a camera there, they went in, they did whatever, maybe they took the car, the people were standing there, and the camera caught everything. The camera was on it. Here's the FBI, and here's the police arrest. Yeah. Yeah, child pose. We've taught you guys a few times, right? You're going to have, let me show you. What is this? Is this the beginning of third position? Hearts from the students. What is this? What is he doing? Any of my HCRV students know what this is? Is this the beginning of going into third stage from trance, second step to third step, right? Dominant hand, heavens and earth. We bring them together, right? Qigong. And then you abide child's pose. So you start. This is how you start as you prep to go into the abiding, right? And then then you hold. This is child pose. This is the start of child. This is first position, and this is the second position in child pose. So, and then hold, and then we go into the abiding, and then you go into step 4, which is to make contact with your with the target. Isn't that cool that you can see it in the cards? I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. All right, did everybody have fun? You have fun? Awesome, I'm glad. Okay, so if you're trying to get in for a reading, please reach out to me. I do have a couple Wizio. I am behind in the Wizios. If you did order a Wizio, I'm doing more of them tonight. I'll get those out. I apologize, I am behind on those. If you want a phone reading with me, the information is below, and you just schedule it on Booksy, and I'll call you back. All right, everybody, be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. All right, peace out, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for your love and support.